right, boy, the beautiful sound of pan there. All right, so we do have with us right now TTPS Media Ambassador, Acting Inspector Ansel Ford. Mr. Ford, thank you very much for coming. This is Independence Week. You know, we played that pan music just for you, Mr. Ford.
Thank you very much, Marlon. Right, and good morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
And let me say happy independence in advance.
Of course.
To the whole of Trinidad and Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Marlon, so again, I'm here. And having dealt with this issue a couple of times before,
yes,
it is still a challenge for us. And we want to speak to members of the public. I want to say probably a fourth time. Right? Now, recently, officers of the Central Division, I want to say, they conducted a sting operation, and they would have arrested persons who were scamming other people of money, right? But this ploy was more or less advertising on social media the opportunity to own a vehicle, right? And we know it in the concept of work to own, right? Where somebody might give you a vehicle and you pay for it over time and eventually you own it, right? Now, whilst it is, we know that this may involve a private vehicle, and sometimes people may take it and apply it, which is an offense in itself, right? Whilst we're not dealing with the offense, we're dealing with the issue of the fraud that is taking place, where persons are being tricked, right? And why this is happening? It is because of that, opportunity that person believes that he or she is getting to own a vehicle, right? And what they are not doing, and similar to other things, because a lot of things have been advertised, be it tools, right, equipment, furnishings, right, have been advertised on these marketplaces, right? And persons probably see it as an opportunity to get something at a reasonable price. Obviously, it will be attractive, so they will make it reasonable. But the intention really is for you to part with your money, and after that, that is the last you hear of these people, right? So in this particular case, good work by the officers in the Central Division, where it is that after numerous reports of persons saying that they would have saw this opportunity to own a vehicle, and they would have met with persons and paid a down payment, right? And in some cases might be $6,000 thereabout, and they hustle you in terms of from visiting the site where the item is advertised. Thereafter, there is continuous contact, right? To bait you, to hustle you into making that payment, to make a down payment, to block the vehicle or to block the item, right? And all of that is, part and parcel of the trick to get you to part with your money. And based on the numerous reports, the officers would have conducted a nice sting operation, and they arrested persons who was suspected to be involved in that particular activity. But this comes after the fact that I came here, right? And other ambassadors and other programs would have tried to sensitize members of the public against this risk,
yes,
right? This threat that is taking place. So once again, I want to speak to members of the public. Your hard-earned money is not simply to give away, all right? What we would like for you all to do, one, is exercise due diligence. Not everything that appears to be good is actually good, right? So you need to do your verification in the first instance. So yes, you are interested in acquiring an item. Someone offered it for sale. You have to take the time to check into that person or that company, right? And ensure that when you part with your money, that you are not being ripped off, that you are actually getting something in exchange for your money, something that has value. So, verify whether the company is a legitimate company. You can inquire from persons if they ever did business, right, with this company before you part with your money, right? When it is and I could relate to someone personally who would have told me about an experience like that, where it is they operated in this way. The person who they were communicating with was a female, right, who represented the company. And up to the point of making the payment, they were expecting to meet with that person. And very late in that transaction, the female indicated that something came up, I would not be able to come, but I would send someone to meet you. All right? And indeed, they met with a male person. Right? And the person came with a receipt that was already prepared for the money that the person agreed to pay. All right? And that transaction took place. And thereafter, there was no contact with the person, the female, right? That is the trick.
The person disappeared.
Disappeared. And more so, because of how it was done, right? To connect the persons to the offense or to the crime, you realize that it had different stages, different persons, and there wasn't any connection really, right? So from an investigative perspective, we have a lot of work to do to try to link these persons. And the mere fact that a receipt came to you, right, which we would want as evidence, you cannot really tell us who gave you that receipt really, right? So, excuse understanding that you have a lot of people out there who are trying to, I want to say, defraud you of your money, trying to steal from you, and they are coming about it in the form of a trick. You need to be aware of this. And because of the awareness, you would reduce your chances or the risk of you becoming a victim of this type of activity, right? So why is it important that you take your time? Don't ever, Marlon, don't ever be too anxious to seal that deal. Don't ever. Take your time and do your verification. As a vehicle, through licensing, there is the means by which you can acquire a certified copy, right? It may take you, if it's a couple of days or a week, before you get that certified copy, right? But it's all part and parcel of you satisfying yourself that the person who I'm dealing with, or the person who is representing him or herself as the owner of this vehicle, according to the registration, here you are, right? So then I have a lot more information to go on, and I'm actually satisfying myself that it was a legitimate transaction, right?
Mr. Ford, I just have just over a minute again.
Yes, sure. So the red flags, Marlon, that you have to look out for, right, is if the deal sounding too sweet.
Yeah, too sweet.
Too sweet, right? Don't fall for that trick. The best prices that they're offering you doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get anything in exchange for your money. So don't get fooled by the lowest prices. If it is that they want to throw in other goodies, right, to make it a song a little more attractive, all of that is things that you have to be mindful of. And when you decide to actually conduct that transaction, we encourage you, don't conduct a cash transaction, right? Ideally, let the person send an account for you, right, with an established bank, and go and you make that deposit. Hardly likely the account is going to be a fraudulent account within the bank. And for the person who opens that account, they have to supply particular information to satisfy the interests of the bank. Therefore, it allows us, the police, a lot more information in terms of conducting an investigation, right? So, Marlon, whilst it is, we can speak more on the issue, I hope that the message, don't give away your money to persons who are intent on deceiving you. Do the necessary diligence, the due diligence that is, and verify. Yes, Marlon?
Mr. Ford, it's always good to speak with you. Thank you very much for the tips this morning. Enjoy the holiday on the weekend.
Thank you very much.
You may be working, but still enjoy it, right?
Thank you very much, Marlon.
All right, see you next week, sir. All right, so it's time for a quick break. We're coming back, everyone.